Addis Ababa, a euro or a new flower a euro. Oromo, Finfinne, fɪnɪ n.nɛ, natural spring, sometimes spelled Addis Abeba, is the capital city of Ethiopia. It is the largest city in Ethiopia, with a population of 3,384,569 according to the 2007 population census with annual growth rate of 3.8%. This number has been increased from the originally published 2,738,248 figure and appears to be still largely underestimated. As a chartered city, Addis Ababa has the status of both a city and a state. It is where the African Union and its predecessor the OAU are based. It also hosts the headquarters of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and numerous other continental and international organizations. Addis Ababa is therefore often referred to as the political capital of Africa due to its historical, diplomatic and political significance for the continent. The city is populated by people from different regions of Ethiopia. The country has as many as 80 nationalities speaking 80 languages and belonging to a wide variety of religious communities. It is home to Addis Ababa University. The Federation of African Societies of Chemistry and Horn of Africa Press Institute are also headquartered in Addis Ababa. History. The earliest known residents of Addis Ababa and most of the Shoa region are said to be the Gurage people settled under the 9th century Sultanate of Shoa. During the 1200s and 1300s, Somalis and Abyssinian kingdoms also laid claim to Shoa for centuries before the Oromo arrived to the region in the 1500s and permanently settled in the surroundings. But the city's official foundation was not set until the late 1800s during Menelik's expansion. The site of Addis Ababa was chosen by Empress Tita Beetle and the city was founded in 1886 by her husband, Emperor Menelik II. Menelik, as initially a king of the Shoa province, had found Mount Entoto a useful base for military operations in the south of his realm, and in 1879 visited the reputed ruins of a medieval town, and an unfinished rock church that showed proof of an Ethiopian presence in the area before the campaigns of Ahmad ibn Ibrahim. His interest in the area grew when his wife Tita began work on a church on Mount Entoto, and Menelik endowed a second church in the area. However, the immediate area did not encourage the founding of a town due to the lack of firewood and water, so settlement actually began in the valley south of the mountain in 1886. Initially, Tita built a house for herself near the Filwaha hot mineral springs, where she and members of the Shoan royal court liked to take mineral baths. Other nobility and their staffs and households settled in the vicinity, and Menelik expanded his wife's house to become the imperial palace which remains the seat of government in Addis Ababa today. The name changed to Addis Ababa and became Ethiopia's capital when Menelik II became Emperor of Ethiopia. The town grew by leaps and bounds. One of Emperor Menelik's contributions that is still visible today is the planting of numerous eucalyptus trees along the city streets. Following all the major engagements of their invasion, Italian troops from the colony of Eritrea entered Addis Ababa on May 5, 1936. Along with Dadawa, the city had been spared the aerial bombardment practiced elsewhere and its railway to Djibouti remained intact. Under its Italian spelling Addis Abeba, the city served as the Duke of Ulster's capital for the unified colony of Italian East Africa until 1941, when it was abandoned in favor of Umber Alaji and other redoubts during the Second World War's East African campaign. The city was liberated by Major Orde Wingate's Sudanese and Ethiopian Gideon force in time to permit Emperor Haile Selassie's return on May 5, 1941, 5 years to the day after he had left. Following reconstruction, Haile Selassie helped form the Organization of African Unity in 1963 and invited the new organization to keep its headquarters in the city. The OAU was dissolved in 2002 and replaced by the African Union, also headquartered in Addis Ababa. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa also has its headquarters in Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa was also the site of the Council of the Oriental Orthodox Churches in 1965. Ethiopia has often been called the original home of mankind due to various humanoid fossil discoveries like the Australopithecine Lucy. Northeastern Africa, and the Afar region in particular was the central focus of these claims until recent DNA evidence suggested origins in south-central Ethiopian regions like present-day Addis Ababa. After analyzing the DNA of almost 1,000 people around the world, geneticists and other scientists claimed people spread from what is now Addis Ababa 100,000 years ago. The research indicated that genetic diversity declines steadily the farther one's ancestors traveled from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Geography. Overview: Addis Ababa lies at an altitude of 7,546 feet and is a grassland biome, located at 9 degree 1 euro squared 48 euro cubed n 38 degree 44 euro squared 24 euro cubed e. The city lies at the foot of Mountain Toto and forms part of the watershed for the Awash. From its lowest point, around Bole International Airport, at 2,326 meters above sea level in the southern periphery, the city rises to over 3,000 meters in the Ntoto Mountains to the north. Subdivision: the city is divided into 10 boroughs named sub-cities and 99 wards. The 10 sub-cities are: Climate: Addis Ababa has a subtropical highland climate. The city has a complex mix of highland climate zones, with temperature differences of up to 10 degrees Celsius, depending on elevation and prevailing wind patterns. The high elevation moderates temperatures year-round, and the city's position near the equator means that temperatures are very constant from month to month. Mid-November to January is a season for occasional rain. The highland climate regions are characterized by dry winters, and this is the dry season in Addis Ababa. During the season the daily maximum temperatures are usually not more than 23 degrees Celsius, and the nighttime minimum temperatures can drop to freezing. The short rainy season is from February to May. During this period, the difference between the daytime maximum temperatures and the nighttime minimum temperatures is not as great as during other times of the year, with minimum temperatures in the range of 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. At this time of the year the city experiences warm temperatures and a pleasant rainfall. The long wet season is from June to mid-September. It is the major winter season of the country. This period coincides with summer, but the temperatures are much lower than at other times of year due to the frequent rain and hail and the abundance of cloud cover and fewer hours of sunshine. This time of the year is characterized by dark, chilly and wet days and nights. The autumn which follows is a transitional period between the wet and dry seasons. The highest record temperature was 32 degrees Celsius August 27, 1996, while the lowest record temperature was 0 degrees Celsius on November 23, 1999. Demographics: based on the 2007 census conducted by the Central Statistical Agency of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa has a total population of 2,739,551, of whom 1,305,387 are men and 1,434,164 women. All of the population are urban inhabitants. For the capital city 662,728 households were counted living in 628,984 housing units, which results in an average of 4.1 persons to a household. Although all Ethiopian ethnic groups are represented in Addis Ababa due to its position as capital of the country, the largest groups include the Amhara, Oromo, Girij, Tigray, Silta, and Gamo. Languages spoken include Amharic, Oromo, Girij, Tigray, Silta and Gamo. The religion with the most believers in Addis Ababa is Ethiopian Orthodox with 74.7% of the population, while 16.2% are Muslim, 7.77% Protestant, and 0.48% Catholic. In the previous census, conducted in 1994, the city's population was reported to be 2,112,737, of whom 1,023,452 were men and 1,089,285 were women. At that time not all of the population were urban inhabitants. Only 2,084,588 or 98.7% were. For the entire administrative council there were 404,783 households in 376,568 housing units with an average of 5.2 persons per household. The major ethnic groups included the Amhara, Oromo, Girij, Tigray 7.64%, Silta 3.98%, and foreigners from Eritrea 1.33%. Languages spoken included Amharic, Oromo, Girij, Tigray, and Silta 2.29%. In 1994 the predominant religion was also Ethiopian Orthodox with 82.0% of the population, while 12.7% were Muslim, 3.87% Protestant, and 0.78% Catholic. According to the 2007 national census, 98.64% of the housing units of Addis Ababa had access to safe drinking water, while 14.9% had flush toilets, 70.7% pit toilets, and 14.3% had no toilet facilities. Values for other reported common indicators of the standard of living for Addis Ababa as of 2005 include the following: 0.1% of the inhabitants fall into the lowest 12th quintile. Adult literacy for men is 93.6% and for women 79.95%, the highest in the nation for both sexes. And the civic infant mortality rate is 45 infant deaths per 1,000 live births, which is less than the nationwide average of 77. At least half of these deaths occurred in the infants' unregistered trademark first month of life. The city is partially powered by water at the Koka Reservoir Koka Dam Power Plant. Economy. The economic activities in Addis Ababa are diverse. According to official statistics from the federal government, some 119,197 people in the city are engaged in trade and commerce. 113,977 in manufacturing and industry. 80,391 homemakers of different variety. 71,186 in civil administration. 50,538 in transport and communication. 42,514 in education, health and social services. 32,685 in hotel and catering services. And 16,602 in agriculture. In addition to the residents of rural parts of Addis Ababa, the city dwellers also participate in animal husbandry and cultivation of gardens. 677 hectares of land is irrigated annually, on which 129,880 quintals of vegetables are cultivated. It is a relatively clean and safe city, with the most common crimes being pickpocketing, scams and minor burglary. The city has recently been in a construction boom with tall buildings rising in many places. Various luxury services have also become available and the construction of shopping malls has recently increased. According to Theo Goldenberg of IOL, area spa professionals said that some people have labeled the city, the spa capital of Africa. Ethiopian Airlines has its headquarters on the grounds of Bole International Airport in Addis Ababa. Government. Pursuant to the Ethiopian Constitution of 1995, the city of Addis Ababa is one of the two federal cities that are accountable to the federal government of Ethiopia. The other city with the same status is Dire Dawa in the east of the country, and both federal cities are located within the state of Oromo. Earlier, following the establishment of the federal structure in 1991 under the Transitional Charter of Ethiopia, the city government of Addis Ababa was one of the then new 14 regional governments. However, that structure was changed by the federal constitution in 1995 and as a result Addis Ababa does not have statehood status. The administration of Addis Ababa city consists of the mayor, who leads the executive branch, and the city council, which enacts city regulations. However, as part of the federal government, the federal legislature enacts laws that are binding in Addis Ababa. Members of the city council are directly elected by the residents of the city, and the council, in turn, elects the mayor among its members. Term of office for elected officials is 5 years. However, the federal government, when it deems necessary, can dissolve the city council and the entire administration and replace it by a temporary administration until elections take place next. Residents of Addis Ababa are represented in the federal legislature, the House of People's Representatives. However, the city is not represented in the House of Federation, which is the federal upper house constituted by the representatives of the member states. The executive branch under the mayor comprises the city manager and various branches of civil service offices. The current mayor of Addis Ababa is Mr. Diriba Kuma from the Oromo People Democratic Organization, which is member of the ruling coalition Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front. Mr. Diriba Kuma took office on July 9, 2013. His predecessor, Mr. Kuma Demeksa, served a 5-year term from October 30, 2008. Before that, the federal government appointed Mr. Berhane Deresa to lead the temporary caretaker administration that served from May 9, 2006 to October 30, 2008 following the 2005 election crisis. In the 2005 national election, the ruling EPRDF party suffered a major defeat in Addis Ababa. However, the opposition who won in Addis Ababa did not take part in the government both on regional and federal level. This situation forced the EPRDF-led federal government to assign a temporary administration until a new election was carried out. As a result, Mr. Berhane Deresa, an independent citizen, was appointed. Some of the notable past mayors of Addis Ababa are mäbɛ, Zu Teklu, Alamueb and Zu Jibrunot. Landmarks, high-rise, architecture and skyline. Mayor Kuma Demeksa embarked on a quest to improve investment for the buildings in the city. Addis Ababa is the headquarters of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and the African Union. The fossilized skeleton, and a plaster replica of the early hominid Lucy is preserved at the Ethiopian National Museum in Addis Ababa. Meskel Square is one of the noted squares in the city and is the site for the annual Meskel at the end of September annually when thousands gather in celebration. The city is home to the Ethiopian National Library, the Ethiopian Ethnological Museum, the Addis Ababa Museum, the Ethiopian Natural History Museum, the Ethiopian Railway Museum and National Postal Museum. Notable taller architecture in Addis Ababa includes the Huda Tower, n.nɛ Tower, Bank Mise Building, as well as the approved Angola World Trade Center Tower, Abyssinia Bank Tower, Mexico Square Tower and the $200 million AU Conference Center and Office Complex. Culture. Notable buildings include St. George's Cathedral, Holy Trinity Cathedral as well as the burial place of Emperor Haile Selassie and the imperial family, and those who fought the Italians during the war. There is also Menelik's old imperial palace which remains the official seat of government, and the National Palace formerly known as the Jubilee Palace which is the residence of the President of Ethiopia. Africa Hall is located across Menelik II Avenue from this palace and is where the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa is headquartered as well as most UN offices in Ethiopia. It is also the site of the founding of the Organization of African Unity which eventually became the African Union. The African Union is now housed in a new headquarters built on the site of the demolished Akaki prison, on land donated by Ethiopia for this purpose in the southwestern part of the city. The Haga Fikir Theatre, the oldest theatre in Ethiopia, is located at the Piazza district. Near Holy Trinity Cathedral is the Art Deco Parliament building, built during the reign of Emperor Haile Selassie, with its clock tower. It continues to serve as the seat of Parliament today. Across from the Parliament is the Shingo Hall, built by the Derg regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam as its new Parliament Hall. The Shingo Hall was the world's largest prefabricated building, which was constructed in Finland before being assembled in Addis Ababa. It is used for large meetings and conventions. In the Mercato district, which happens to be the largest open markets in Africa, is the impressive Grand Anwar Mosque, the biggest mosque in Ethiopia built during the Italian occupation. A few meters to the southwest of the Anwar Mosque is the Raguel Church built after the liberation by Empress Menen. The proximity of the mosque and the church has symbolized the long peaceful relations between Christianity and Islam in Ethiopia. The Roman Catholic Cathedral of the Holy Family is also in the Mercato district. Near Bole International Airport is the new Medinalam Orthodox Cathedral, which is the second largest in Africa. Other features of the city include the large Mercato Market, the Jan Meada Racecourse, Billiard-side recreation center and a railway line to Djibouti. Sport facilities include Addis Ababa and n.nɛ stadiums. The 2008 African Championships in athletics were held in Addis Ababa. The Ntoto Mountains start among the northern suburbs. Suburbs of the city include Shire Meada and Ntoto in the north, Urel and Bole in the east, Nifas Silk in the southeast, Mekaniza in the south, and Karanio and Kolf in the west. Kolf was mentioned in Nelson Mandela's autobiography A Long Walk to Freedom, as the place he got military training. Development. The city hosts the We Are the Future Center, a childcare center that provides children with a higher standard of living. The center is managed under the direction of the Mayor Unregistered Trademark S Office, and the international NGO Global Forum serves as the fundraiser and program planner and coordinator for the WAF Child Center in each city. Each WAF city is linked to several peer cities and public and private partners to create a unique international coalition. Launched in 2004, the program is the result of a strategic partnership between the Global Forum, the Quincy Jones Listen Up Foundation and Mr. Hani Masri, with the support of the World Bank, UN agencies and major companies. Gallery. Education. Addis Ababa University was founded in 1950 and was originally named University College of Addis Ababa, then renamed in 1962 for the former Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie I, who had donated his Gendlul Palace to be the university's main campus in the previous year. It received its current name in 1975 after the emperor was deposed. Although the university has 6 of its 7 campuses within Addis Ababa Way, it also maintains branches in many cities throughout Ethiopia. It is the home of the Institute of Ethiopian Studies and the Ethnological Museum. The city also has numerous private colleges including Odd College, Ethiopian Civil Service College and Unity University. A massive new university solely dedicated to science and technology is under construction in the east of the city. Transport. Public transport is through public buses from Ambessa City Bus Service Enterprise or blue and white share taxis. The taxis are usually minibuses that can seat at most 12 people. 2 people are responsible for each taxi, the driver and a wheeler who collects fares and calls out the taxi's destination. The construction of the Addis Ababa Ring Road was initiated in 1998 to implement the city master plan and enhance peripheral development. The Ring Road was divided into 3 major phases that connect all the 5 main gates in and out of Addis Ababa with all other regions. For this project, China Road and Bridge Corporation was the partner of Addis Ababa City Roads Authority. The Ring Road has greatly helped to decongest and alleviate city car traffic. Intercity bus service is provided by the Selam Bus Line Share Company. The city is served by Addis Ababa Bole International Airport, where a new terminal opened in 2003. The old Lideta Airport in the Western Old Airport District is used mostly by small craft and military planes and helicopters. Addis Ababa also has had a railway connection with Djibouti City, with a picturesque French-style railway station, but the railway no longer operates pending the construction of a new modern rail line to be built in the near future. A light rail system is planned. In September 2010, Ethiopian Railway Corporation reached a funding agreement with Export and Import Bank of China scheduled for completion in 2015. Plans include a 30 km network with 2 lines. An east-west line from Iat to the Torhalot Ring Road, and from Menelik Square to Mercato Bus Station, Meskel Square and Akaki. Cityscape. Sister cities, see also. Large Cities Climate Leadership Group, references. Further reading, Pankhurst, Richard. The Ethiopians, A History. Wiley-Blackwell. New Ed edition. ISBN A0-631-22493-9. External links, Addis Ababa City Administration, Addis Ababa Travel Guide from Wiki Voyage.